It's that little gay talk show with Joel Tatum and Charlotte Shotguns. Houston's hot mess of a podcast. A funny but thoughtful look at the LGBTQIA plus community.
Come on, boy. There we go. Hey, what's up, world? It's Joel Tatum, and Charlotte is enjoying some of her man time with her man right now. So she'll be back next week. Y'all don't worry. She will be back next week. I saw her last night. She looks good. She did well at Hamburger Mary's. I'm so proud of that bitch. I mean, I was like, she came in, she had a look. She didn't look like any of the other queens, which a lot of them kind of looked alike. They all had the big Texas hair and all that, and the big fluffy dresses. And she came in this little number with a red corset, I think it's called, and just looking hot. I cannot remember if she was wearing a dress or not. I have pictures, so I'm going to download all the pictures later so y'all can see them later. Just go to at Little Gay Talk Show on Instagram, and I'll download those pictures. That way you know what what you're going to see. You're probably going to get a couple of pictures of her doing a death drop. All these bitches in the death drop. Oh, I'm joined today because she's not here by my friend Spunkmeyer Brown. How you doing, Spunkmeyer?
Yay. I'm like, I want to say something, and I'm like, when is that bitch going to introduce me?
I was going to introduce you eventually. We're not going to sit here this entire time where it's just me talking and then you just sitting over there just smiling, going, when is he? Hello?
Feeling like an idiot.
No, I just called you over so you can watch me do the show. That's what I did.
Yeah, I figured.
You could be the director.
So wait, what's a death drop? Is that when they... What's a
death drop is when...
Is that like a suicide?
It's when they drop. It's when they plop on the floor on their backs with their leg a certain way.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's kind of like a suicide.
Yeah.
Do you know what a suicide is?
No, not really.
A suicide is where you do a front flip and land on your back.
Oh, no, I don't think these bitches were not that agile.
I used to do that in middle school. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can do anything when you're young.
That is true. I mean, you're so flexible and the bones are so soft. Yeah. You can literally just do anything when you're young. When you get up here, it's like, ooh, I'm not doing that. Bending over is a trick.
I have started to get arthritis, and it sucks.
Really?
It really sucks,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what?
I thought that was for old people. I'm only middle-aged.
Mm-hmm, I know. You know, I get super cramped up. I get like these cramps in my hands sometimes.
I think that's arthritis, isn't it?
Is it?
Well,
I hope not.
Cramp like stiff?
No, like my fingers and stuff will move on their own. Sometimes that kind of cramping.
What that is.
Yeah, that's but that happens when I'm either really super stressed out or I've been working like nonstop.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So
that's just your muscles.
Yeah, it's just my muscles. Yeah, it's like muscle contractions or something. It's weird. It might also have something to do with the fact that I'm on one of these medications is probably having a little bit of an effect on that. So hopefully it's not a permanent thing. But I'll get a cramp like in my back or chest or sometimes in my hands when I overexert myself. So yeah, so I know how that goes. I mean, getting up here in age is not easy. It's not easy. I'm usually sitting across from a 25-year-old every time I do the show. So when they start talking about doing all these death drops and everything else, I'm like, honey, if I do a death drop, I'm dead. I'm not getting back up off that floor. I'm pretty much dead. And if I'm still breathing, just go ahead and shoot me in the head because
Yeah, because I saw some of Charlotte's photos when they went on that old granny walk or whatever, and they were doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And I was like, wow, it must be fun to be young and full of energy.
You know, I was invited, and they said, well, what are you going to wear? I'm like, well, I'm already old, so I'm just going to wear jeans and a T-shirt.
But you didn't go.
No, I didn't go. No, Sunday night. Let me tell you.
I thought they just. I said I was wondering if maybe they.
No, I was invited, but by the time I got out of work and everything else, you know, you get out of work. Well, you work from home, so it's a little different. But when you get out of work, sometimes, and you're like at 9:00 in the morning, you're like, yeah, girl, I'll go out with you later after work. 5 or 6 o'clock rolls around, and you're like, bitch, nah, I'm going home.
Especially because you've been on your feet all day.
Because I've been on my feet all day, and I've had to deal with. Let me tell you something. Y'all have heard me complain about this, and y'all gonna continue to hear me complain about this till my subscriber numbers goes up to where I can stay at home. People on Sunday brunch are not the easiest people to deal with at all.
Sunday brunch in particular.
Sunday brunch and like I said,
is that after they've gone to church? Is that after their church going?
Sometimes it's after church. But most of the time, these are especially where I work, these are younger kids coming in here looking fabulous. They make sure they get dressed up and look fabulous so they can sit down and drink cheap champagne and orange juice and a cheap breakfast. So
cheap? Mm-hmm. It's not, you don't work at Denny's.
No, I don't work at Denny's, but I mean, it's basically breakfast. You sit down to breakfast with alcohol.
Right.
Save yourself the money. Go to Denny's, get yourself a breakfast, and then have a bottle in the parking lot, and y'all have some after dinner.
Right. I mean, how good can breakfast be? I mean, it's eggs and bacon,
and it's all the trendy stuff. Every time something trendy comes out, brioche French toast, for example.
Oh, that sounds good. Actually,
it sounds good.
I love me some French toast.
You know what? I'm not a big fan of French toast.
What?
I used to be.
Get out of here.
I used to be a big fan of French toast. I'm just not a big fan of. I don't know. There's something about the idea, and I feel the same way. And I feel the same way about tres leches as well, or anything along those lines. There's something about eating soggy bread that just doesn't appeal to me.
Wait, okay. Right, I don't like tres leches, actually. I agree with you on that. But French toast should not be soggy.
Yeah, sometimes it's just, depending on, I've been to several different places where I'm like, you know what, I can't eat this. It's just too soggy.
Ew.
It's too wet, and
Ew.
I can't eat wet. I just can't eat wet bread. I'm the same way about bread pudding. I hate bread pudding.
Ooh, I love bread pudding.
Hate bread pudding. Just completely hate it. So, yeah, I don't like anything that's mushy and sweet for some reason.
You know what I hate the most is when you go to, because that new Target opened up not too long ago, and they have these pre-made sandwiches, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll try one of these sandwiches. It was soggy as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel the same way about a sandwich. If I'm getting a sandwich and all the juices are in the bread, then I'm like, I can't eat this.
Ruins your whole day.
I think what it boils down to, and it really does boil down to this. It really depends on what type of bread you use.
Yes.
Because I think certain breads.
Yes.
I mean, if you're using
white bread, no. You're
bread. White bread is for simple sandwiches that it's not going to be super wet,
and you make it right away.
Yes.
Or if you're a kid, your mom packs it.
Exactly.
You don't care anyway.
Mm-mm. And actually, we ate a lot of wheat bread. When I was growing up, we didn't eat a lot of white. In fact, we ate very little white bread.
I would say that's sophisticated.
Yeah, so we ate quite a bit of wheat, and it was mostly because I think my mother saw something on the news or something one time about white bread being bad for you, so she's just changed over to wheat. And honestly, none of us as kids noticed the difference, to be honest.
Actually, your tastes change when you get older, but
yeah.
Wheat bread tastes better, I think.
I think wheat bread tastes better.
I don't think I could eat white bread.
Yeah. So when you're in the business of making sandwiches and you put something on white bread, it better not be wet because I can't eat it. And I'm not even going to look. I don't even know why you would put it on white bread. What is white bread good for? Texas toast is good for something because it's a thick piece.
Is that white bread, though?
It's white bread, but it's super thick. So it can absorb some, yeah, it can absorb. If you make if you go to Whataburger and get one of their patty melts on Texas toast,
that sounds good.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I can't believe. I'm sorry. I know I'm about to commit a blasphemous act.
I want to hear it.
I'm not a big fan of Whataburger.
Oh, me neither.
Not a big fan of Whataburger. I don't understand why everybody in Texas makes a big deal about water.
Since we're on this trend, can I say I'm not a fan of Bluebell, actually?
Neither am I.
It's super overrated.
It's overrated.
If you want good ice cream, fucking Trader Joe's has amazing ice cream, and Kroger brand ice cream is to die for.
You know what?
Bluebell it sucks.
Bluebell is the most overrated ice cream in the country.
Yes. And since I lived in California for a long time, In-N-Out is overrated too. I don't know. You know what In-N-Out is?
Yeah, I know what In-N-Out. Do we have an In-N-Out here in Houston? I think we have an In-N-Out here in Houston.
I think there might be one.
I think there's an In-N-Out here in Houston.
Well, so what do you think of Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A, I still will not eat there because they're still not very supportive of the gay community.
But if you did, what would you think of their food?
You know what? The last time I ate at Chick-fil-A was back in 1995. And I had their chicken on a biscuit, I think, or chicken sandwich. I had something with chicken, and it was salty as fuck.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Chick-fil-A either.
It was salty as fuck, and I'm like, I can't eat this. This is just too much salt.
You know what I do like though, and I feel kind of bad for saying this because the owner is a terrible person. Carl's Jr. has really good hamburgers.
You know what, Carl's Jr. Not bad on the hamburger.
$6 hamburger.
Yeah,
which when it started, it was less than $6, but now it's more than $6.
But you know what I found when it comes to hamburgers. Everybody has their favorite place, but every time I've gone to everybody's favorite place, the hamburgers are okay. They're not spectacular or any of that other stuff, but they're okay.
The best place I've ever gotten a hamburger is Super Duper Burger in San Francisco. It's like a chain in San Francisco.
You know,
they're hella good.
You know, my friend David said that the best hamburger he had here in Houston was at Paulie's, of all places.
What's that?
Paulie's is just a little... it's a little restaurant right here off of Westheimer and Hazard, in between Hazard and Dunlavy.
Wait, is that Italian?
No.
It has windows?
Yeah, it has windows with right across the street from Lanier High School.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lanier Middle School, not high school.
The people always look so happy in there.
Yeah, they always do. And you know what? The food is actually quite good.
What is it? I thought it was Italian.
It's a little bit of everything. It's mostly Italian, I think. But they have a little bit of everything. Their sandwiches are amazing. I was disappointed because two of their sandwiches, which are my favorites, quality hasn't been there, and I don't know what's going on with that. It's the shrimp and bacon sandwich, and then they have a pork loin sandwich with a special mustard that they make.
Oh, I love mustard.
Yes, yes.
Do they have Reubens?
I don't think they have Reubens. Not a big fan
of
the
okay.
Not a big fan of the Reuben either.
What?
No. I don't know. Something.
Well, maybe the soggy bread thing, because a Reuben can go soggy really fast. Yeah, there's like a small window of opportunity. It's really small. But when you get a good Reuben, it's amazing.
It's very... and you know, sometimes I can deal... If the meat inside is really good, sometimes I'll be like, you know what? We'll just take some of the bread off and we'll just eat the meat. If it's really good, I'll eat it. But, if you're going to make it into
like sauerkraut, I guess?
You know what? I'm very ambivalent about sauerkraut. I don't know how I feel about it. And the reason why I don't know how to feel about it is because I haven't eaten it in years. But I used to love it on hot dogs.
Oh.
Yeah, because when I was small, when I was a kid, I loved sauerkraut on my hot dogs because...
Wow, you had a very sophisticated growing up.
Yeah.
I never had sauerkraut till an adult.
Yeah, and I had sauerkraut on hot dogs for a long time, but I haven't eaten sauerkraut on a hot dog in years, and I don't know why. I like sauerkraut. I don't have a problem with sauerkraut, but me and sauerkraut just lately, I don't know, I think we're on the outs.
It can kind of be salty.
It can kind of be salty, but I think it's an acquired taste too. But I like the crunch of sauerkraut on certain sandwiches.
Well, and
you would think I would
back
like
to the Reuben. A good Reuben has to have a crunch to it.
Yeah, and it has to have a crunch. And if it's like I said, if the sauerkraut is soggy, I ain't eating it.
Yeah, it's hard to make a good Reuben.
Yeah. So basically, y'all probably going, wait a minute, isn't this a gay talk show?
I'm hungry.
Like, yeah, it is. And we sitting around talking about food, which is...
Hey, is a Reuben a euphemism for something? It should be.
I would think a foot long would be more of a euphemism. I could go... actually, I was
reaching way up there for the higher to reach comedy.
Yeah, you were reaching way up there. Way up there. That's too highbrow for me. Yeah. Yeah, that's like IFC kind of.
Independent.
IFC, the channel, the movie channel, the highbrow
Independent film channel.
Yeah, independent film channle, the highbrow indie films.
Is it highbrow?
I think so.
I don't know. Is it still like around?
I don't know. All the films always remind me of Wes Anderson films. Everything. Wes Anderson seems to have.
I do not get Wes Anderson films.
You know what? It's not that
they make me angry.
It's not that I don't get them. It's just that I'm like, okay, I understand why this is a funny moment, but it's not a ha-ha. Why am I not laughing at this? But I understand it's a funny moment, so it's like, okay, I get the joke. But then I'm not laughing, and I'm still slightly entertained by the fact that I'm not laughing. So I don't know. That's weird.
I used to hate them, and I didn't get them, and they would make me angry. And then I was reading, because I was on some weird Wes Anderson rabbit hole, and on some Wes Anderson sucks. I hate Wes Anderson. And on some bulletin post, some guy said Wes Anderson films are for people who have a very adventuresome, are world traveled, and they have a very adventuresome life, and all they want to do when they get home is sit down and watch sort of a Wes Anderson film. It's for people who have a very exciting, adventureful life, and it completely made sense to me.
That is the weirdest. Really?
Yeah.
Because
you want to sit down and you don't want to have to laugh at something, but it's sort of all over the place.
I mean, like I said, you get the joke, but it's not like a bust out loud laughter. It's more like I got that joke. Hee hee hee.
Yeah.
Hee hee. And it's a little bit of a laughter, but it's not a lot. And let's face it, his films are first and foremost, the most colorful films I've ever watched. I don't think there's a Wes Anderson film that is just not bursting with color.
True, and they're very unique.
Very unique.
Wes Anderson definitely has his style.
Yeah, he's definitely in the quirky realm. I think quirky, which I think might get a little old after a while. I think now. I think now I might have to Google this, but I think my first Wes Anderson film was The Royal Tenenbaums, which, if I remember correctly, is a Wes Anderson film. I think, and I was interested in the film because it was playing at River Oaks Theater, and two.
Did you see it in the theater?
Yeah, I saw it in the theater.
Did you fall asleep?
No, I didn't fall asleep. I actually liked the film.
Oh, I fell asleep.
Yeah, I actually liked it. And I was like, I like this film. Although, like I said, I left the movie theater thinking, I like this film. But it's not anything I'm going to remember. You know what I'm saying? It's not anything that, completely excited me or anything else. But I liked the film. I liked the characters. They were very colorful. They were very odd. And they were very intellectual. It's completely it's an intellectual's paradise. I call that film.
Honestly, I just don't get the films really.
Mm-hmm. But
I don't know if they're over my head or under my head.
Well, with Wes Anderson, his films aren't dumbed down for the audience. They can be a little bit over the head sometimes. And like I said, it takes you a little while sometimes to get the joke because he really delves more into satire more than anything else. And satire. Really not one for outright laughs, but you get the joke, and it can be humorous,
right?
But it's not really bursting out laughing kind of humor. I mean, there have been moments in some of his other movies that I've watched where I was like, "Oh, that's really funny," and I really laughed. But for the most part, I think maybe in the which one?
Actually, I liked his first film, Bottle Rocket.
Bottle Rocket was good.
I liked that one, actually.
Mm-hmm. I thought Bottle Rocket
was kind of different from his others. It was more normal.
Yeah, it was not as... I don't think he really came into his style until the Royal Tenenbaums. I think that he said, you know what, this is the style I'm going to go with.
Did he do Rushmore?
I think he did do Rushmore.
I don't think I saw Rushmore.
Yeah, I think he did do Rushmore. Like I said, neither one of us have our devices handy.
I do right here.
Okay.
I did Rushmore.
I think he's... I think that was... Wait a minute. Because I know that was filmed here in Houston. It was a big deal about the fact that it was filmed here in Houston. But
Rushmore?
But wait, that might have been the first film. I saw Royal Tenenbaums at the theater, of course, but I think I saw Rushmore on TV. I don't think I saw it at the theater. I think I might have rented it on video. Google that, renting on video, if you don't know what that is. For all you young people who don't know what CDs are, I had to rent it.
VHS, hello.
Was it on VHS? I rented it on... I did not want those big bulky things in my house. As soon as we got a CD player, I threw away all...
A DVD player.
I'm sorry, a DVD player.
Wait, you didn't rent VHS?
Oh, yeah, back in 1980-something or other, but I stopped... The only time I rented VHS, honestly, was to watch porn.
Let's see, when did DVDs come out? I mean, in the 90s sometime.
Yeah, I think maybe about 90, 92.
Yeah.
Some around that time when DVDs really started to become the big thing. And you knew VHS was on its way out because DVDs were just like little discs. You stick them in a machine, it's done.
Yeah.
VHS tapes, oh my God.
But you could record on VHS.
Mm-hmm. You can record on You could record on VHS easily.
Yeah.
You could really easily. The problem was it was too easy. Sometimes you could actually record over a movie and not realize that you're recording over a movie.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So it was a little bit too easy at the time. But now...
Dude, I remember when VHS came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there wasn't even VHS before that.
Oh, I remember that too. And let me tell you something.
And you could actually go get a movie from the store and bring it home and watch it. That was so insanely revolutionary.
I know, that was revolutionary back then.
Before that, you had to wait for a movie to come on TV.
Yeah, exactly. You had to wait a long time.
And like once a year, Wizard of Oz would come on.
But the problem is that once it did come on TV, they deleted all the good stuff.
Yeah, they would edit it out.
They would edit out all the good stuff, so you're left with the weak sauce of a movie. Much. And you're like...
And sometimes the edit was so bad that it would just be like, what just happened?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? That was not the same movie. No.
Or it's like Letterboxd and the thing is like... No, it's not Letterboxd. So the thing is like panning all over the place.
Exactly. And the funny thing is that I went to the movies a lot as a teenager. So my biggest thing was teen comedies. Teen sex comedies. That was my thing. Because I really, 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 really...
Like what?
Really wanted to see a teen boy's penis at the time.
Oh.
As a teen boy, by the way. As a teen boy, not as an adult man.
Okay.
I don't want anybody to did he just... No, I did not say that. I said as a teenager, I used to love watching teen sex films because I really, 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 really wanted to see a penis, and nobody showed me a penis. I saw vagina and tits all day long, and I saw heterosexuals having sex all day long. I mean, half of these movies were so bad.
Oh, so you saw an adult man's penis, but you didn't see someone your age?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess so. It's so confusing now because when you realize the ages of the actors who are playing teenagers in movies, and then you're like, wait a minute.
They're like 10 years older.
They're like 10 to 15 years older. And in some cases, there were some actresses in their 30s who were still playing teen roles.
Yeah.
And I went, well, no wonder everybody's confused. Because you'll see a teen character on a show and they're like, oh my God, they're so hot. But then you're like, wait a minute, they're 16 in high school. I can't think that. That's wrong to think. And then you see them, then you remember that they're actors, so you go look up their profile real quick and go, oh my God, I can feel better. They're 28 years old.
Yeah.
Which I think is half the cast of Riverdale, mostly. Most of the cast of Riverdale is probably in their early 20s, late 20s, something like that.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Is
that on Netflix?
No, it's on the CW.
Oh.
That's for this. You know what I love about the CW? You have DC TV shows, and then you have shows that are supposed to be about teenagers, but nobody's ever a teenager in any of the shows. They're all in there. So why have a teenage show with adults? Just make it a young adult show. I don't understand why you can't have teenagers playing teenagers.
Well, if they're underage, there's a whole working...
Yeah, I know there's
a whole working
thing. I know. There's a whole working thing, and I get it.
But they have to provide for school for them and all sorts of stuff.
But the expectations, I mean, honestly, when I think about it as a kid, when I watched, let's say 16 Candles. When I watched 16 Candles, everybody in that movie was close to my age. From Anthony Michael Hall all the way up to Molly Ringwald, they were close to my age.
Right.
So watching those John Hughes films always
they felt more authentic.
Yeah, they felt more authentic because these are teenagers, real teenagers who are like closer to my age, and I feel like that when we start playing teenagers later, and I understand. Look, I get it. When it comes to child labor laws and all this other stuff, I get it. You can only have them do a certain amount of work.
You could get a 17-year-old or an 18-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that, but are you really looking at... I mean, when I look at a 25-year-old doing a teenager role, I'm like, it's obvious that you are not 17. You are not 15. You are not 15 years old. You are not 15 years old. And stop confusing me because you are not 15 years old. So, yeah. So, just please stop. This is why I can't watch.
Let's write a memo to Hollywood.
We should write a memo.
Please stop.
Yeah, please stop because you're confusing us all.
It's not good.
Mm-mm. And some of us are going to therapy worried about whether or not we're pedophiles or something because we are watching. We're excited from watching these teenagers and then confused by the fact that, wait, they're not teenagers. They're real adults. So my feelings are valid, but then I think about the fact that they're a teenager, they're playing a teenager, and then my brain is like, but that's gross. It's like Tom Holland in Spider-Man. Tom Holland is 23 years old playing a 15-year-old. And all my friends are like, Tom Holland's so hot. And I'm like, dude, he's a teenager. Joel, he's 23 years old. I'm like, in the movies, he's a teenager. Can we just go with that in the movie?
But he's not.
But he's not a teenager, and it's so confusing. It's just
it's okay, Joel.
I'm just so confused.
It's okay.
I mean, because honestly, when I see a 16-year-old boy now, I'm like, ugh, that's you got some more. Your dick ain't even your dick hasn't even dropped yet. No, not that I'm.
Well, that's good.
Not that I'm out there looking at. You know, in my field of work, I see all kinds of people, and I see a lot of teenagers where I work. So, you know, you don't even, you know, my first thought when I see a handsome looking teenage boy, I'm like, you know what? He's gonna be hot when he grows up.
Yeah,
he's gonna be hot.
High school is really, really young.
Mm-hmm. But
I mean, they're still kids.
Yeah, they're still kids. Mm-hmm.
I mean, even in college, they still look like kids.
I know, right? And it's like. Well, and they're like, well, I'm in college, and I'm like,
There's still so much you don't understand.
No, I don't.
I like lines on the face.
Mm-hmm. I like some experience. I love experience.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Now,
I mean,
there have been back in the day. I mean, let me.
I mean, every once in a while, someone like a 20-year-old is like super hot. And you're like, yes.
Mm-hmm. Interesting story. I was working at another restaurant that was literally right down the street from where I live, and they were a brand new restaurant, and the owners kind of were. Didn't have full restaurant experience. They've run a coffee house for years, but they didn't have full restaurant experience, so they didn't have a lot of knowledge when it comes to how to run a restaurant fully. So we had a lot of issues, and I remember me and the chef, who I just thought was. So I think I was 33 at the time, and I think he was 28. And I remember me and the chef, one of the chefs, were just completely frustrated because the workday had been slow, and they weren't listening to the ideas we had, and blah, 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 blah. So we went down the street to have a drink, and we're both sitting behind the bar. We're sitting at the bar, and the barback is having a conversation with us. And let me tell you, he is 19. Fucking hot as fucking hell. Lived on his own. He said he had been living on his own since he was 16. He takes care of himself. He goes to school. He does all this other stuff. And me and the chef are like, he is fucking hot. And I looked at the chef. I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't know. He goes, I'm bisexual. He's fucking hot. He goes, I didn't mean to come out. I didn't want to come out, but I can't help it. He is hot. And he was hot. Wow. So it's like, it was one of those moments where I went, you know what? 33, 19. It worked for one friendship that I know. It could work again.
Hey, if they're hot, they're hot.
Mm-hmm. He was hot and he was handsome. And he had, you know what I liked about him now? It was not the fact that he was just hot. He had his shit together. He knew exactly what he wanted in his life. He knew exactly how to get it. He was willing to do the work, put the work in. That's hot as fuck.
Yeah,
he was not. Yeah, he's not. He wasn't the typical 19-year-old who's wandering around trying to figure out where they're going to stick their dick next. He was actually thinking about what he wanted to, what his goals are, and what he wanted his life to be. And the more we talked to him, the more we were just turned on by him because he was, like I said, he was smart. He was funny. He had a sense. I mean, he had a sense of himself. He had the confidence that I think we both envied a little. Because I'd never seen that level of confidence in someone so young. So, and I think, like I said, for him, I think it was because he did have a hard life and he did have to take care of himself for most of his life. And he was very confident in the fact that, you know, he could pay his own bills and take care of everything and, you know, have a job to come to every day. And he did it all on his own. And I think I was just, like I said, I was just gushing with pride, like he was my own child. But at the same time, oh, God. A child I would fuck. And please, do not send me any hate. That's not, y'all know what I meant. So there we go. That was a long time ago. I was 33. He was 19. He's way older now. I'm way older, too. So if we were to meet again on the street, yeah, I'd still hit that. So...
Well, sometimes when they look hot when they're young, like they don't age very well.
No, they don't age very well.
Unfortunately,
you have to look at them and go, you know what, honey, enjoy this while you can because that ain't staying around. I can tell you, I can guarantee
and
you.
The window is just so.
The window
small.
is so small, and trust me, and you and I both know this, and I don't mean no harm to anybody out there who knows me, but some of my friends did not age well.
Oh, shit. Oh.
I love y'all. I love you girls too. And I know I lost some hair. I'm okay with that. I lost some hair and I got a lot of gray. But for some strange reason, men are okay with it. And they let me know. Hey, what's going on with you, Daddy? I like that. The doorman last night in Hamburger Mary's asked me if I had a reservation. And I said, yes, I have a reservation. And then he looked me up and down and goes, sure, Daddy has a reservation. I said, okay. Calm down there. I'm just trying to get inside to watch my friend do his thing. We ain't going behind the building today. So
what was the theme of the show? Was it like...
No, it's Bearded Queens.
Okay.
It was all Bearded Queens. And they all performed perform to whatever songs that they wanted to perform to, and it was fun. And you know what? Hamburger Mary's, I don't know if it's the setup that they had, but as soon as I stepped in, I'm like, this feels really small. For some strange reason, it felt really small. It didn't feel
compared to what?
Well, when I first when Hamburger Mary's first opened, they had booths in 4 of the corners, and they had what I thought was a few more tables. They had a few more tables in there, and it felt more spacious. But then they put these long picnic tables in, well, not picnic tables. I would say the pull-apart, the little catering tables that you would see at events. They put those in there, and they made them long, and you could seat about 6 or 7 people at a table. And it just seems...
It's been like that for a while.
I know, but I hadn't been to Hamburger Mary's in quite some time since COVID. Really haven't been to Hamburger Mary's since COVID. So it just seemed really small. But, by the way, girl, I spent $50 in there on 3 drinks. I'm like, I only had 3 drinks.
Holy shit.
I'm like, what? I had 3 vodka martinis. That's what I had. I'm like,
martini, hello.
Tito's. And I'm like, wait. Because he comes over with the bill and he's like, oh, that'll be $50.33. I'm like, did I have food? No, I mean, am I paying for everybody else? He goes, no, just your drinks.
That's like $13 a martini.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God.
Martinis are expensive.
Well, first of all, I ordered a vodka martini with a lemon twist. You know what I get? A vodka martini with a splash of lemon juice in it. They actually put lemonade.
Oh,
in my glass.
Wait, was it in a martini glass?
It was in a martini glass. I'm like,
wow.
This is a different drink. This is not what I want. But it was so loud that I was like, you know what? I don't care.
That place is insane.
Yeah, it was so loud that I was like, you know what? And once the show was over, they just packed everything up and we're done. And I'm like, so no one's going to stay for dinner or any of that stuff? Because I felt like that they were closing at that.
Well, what time was it?
9:30.
Oh, I don't know.
I have no idea because I thought they stayed open later to like. I mean, it's a Wednesday, so I have no earthly idea.
I don't really understand that place.
I don't get it either because it's like
it's super loud. It's the only thing I know.
Well, I mean, it was a full.
I have sensitive ears.
It was a full-fledged restaurant before COVID for the longest time, so you can go in there and get lunch or dinner, or sometimes brunch. You can go in there and get lunch and dinner and be served by whatever person is serving you. Thankfully enough, Hamburger Mary is they are really about the community, so they hire everybody in the community. So I just, you know what I do? I just use they, them pronouns because I never know what to call anybody.
Is it a chain? Or is it
it's a chain, yes. They do have.
I know there's ones in other cities.
Yeah, there's one.
All like, it's a franchise or something?
I guess it's a franchise or a chain.
Okay.
One of the two. It might be a franchise. I guess it depends on.
Well.
Yeah,
a chain can be a franchise.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not going to sit here and try to look up their business model, but for the most part, yeah, they're good. And like I said, you can get a really entertaining show there, and you'll have a good time. And one of my
burgers are pretty good.
And the burgers are pretty good. And let me tell you something. My friend Angelo orders this $20 drink that is like a giant drink of just sweetness and alcohol, and I'm like, that's what I should have. I should have just ordered one of those, and I could have had it through the entire show.
Well, you live, you learn.
Yeah, exactly. And then they have a $40 drink, which I don't even want to know how big that drink is. It's $40, and let me tell you something. Y'all send me a little something on one of our social media outlets, and let me know exactly what that $40 drink is, because like I said, all I did was look up at the board, and it said $40 for a drink, and I'm like, what in the motherfucking hell is that kind of drink for $40? And it better not be a shot.
Right. Just bring me the bottle.
Yeah, just bring me the bottle. Good Lord. Which I think they do have bottle service.
Oh, yeah?
I think they do, but
well,
do you want to spend...
bring your own, or you take it?
No, you buy a bottle from the bar. But do you really want to spend $300 on the bottle? No, you do not. For all your friends? No, you do not. Are they going to cough up $10 a piece? No, they're not. Is one friend going to drink more than everybody else? Yes, they will.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the one that doesn't have any money.
Yeah, and that'll be the one who had no money,
unemployed.
Yeah, who came in, had no money, but you were like, "Look, I'll buy you a couple of drinks, but that's it." And their couple of drinks are the most expensive drinks on the menu.
Oh, of course.
And you don't realize that until you got the bill because they went to the bar 5 times while you only went to the bar 2. And you're wondering why your bill is so high. And then the bartender your friend came over here and he ordered several shots. I'm like, so wait, I paid for shots? That's what I paid for? Oh my God. I thought he told me he was getting shots on his own dime. He didn't tell me it was going to be on the bill. Good Lord. So, you want to take a little bit of a break?
Oh, I was
just
getting me some water.
Do you need a minute?
No.
Okay, because I'd like to. I was thinking about making another cocktail.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because this episode is fun. It's about nothing, so we get to literally talk about anything, and just hear people go. What? They didn't really talk about it.
I thought that was every episode.
No, every episode we usually have something going on, but this episode, honestly, this episode, I was like, you know what? What are we going to talk about this week? There's so many different topics and blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, you know what? Now let's just have fun. Let's just do an episode where we don't have to worry, where it's worry free. We don't have to like worry about stuff. I know that you've got stuff written down, and we're going to get to that in the second part of the show. So I'm interested and curious into some of the things that Spunkmeyer has written down. So we're going to take a little bit of a break because I want to make a quick cocktail for both of us, I think. And we will be right back. Ooh, I did that right. And we're back. Let me do this little thing real quick.
Houston's hot mess of a podcast.
I just like doing that.
I love how she says in the intro, how she does the LGBTQIA plus.
Exactly. Well, you know, there's so many. And you don't want to leave anybody out because then somebody will be like, well, you didn't say B. I said plus theory, so in case I missed a saposexual or a pansexual or any other sexuals out there, that's what the plus is for.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to add any more if we're done. Like the plus, just a catch-all.
Oh, my God. At one point, if I remember this correctly, it was LGBTQIA plus 1, 2 something. And I'm like, what are the numbers for? Are we running out of letters that we had to use numbers?
Wait, what's?
I didn't understand what that was.
I have to look this up.
Yeah, I think at one time, and I think they got rid of it. And honestly, you know what the easiest thing to say now is? Just queer.
Yeah.
Queer is just the easiest thing. It's all around.
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't really have to remember all the letters to the alphabet to figure out who's in the group. Just say queer and you're done.
LGBTQIA. Oh shit. Oops.
Because if we were going to count it, I mean, it would be PSDTRMLOXZ.
Are you sure it's not? Oh, Big 12. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's just easier. Yeah, it's just easier to say queer. I mean, everybody's queer as far
Holy
as...
shit, LGBTQIP2SAA.
Yeah, exactly. What the heck is the 2 for?
Oh, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning queer, intersex, pansexual, two-spirited, androgynous, and asexual.
Two-spirited and androgynous, aren't they the same thing?
Well,
the male
is a
and
Native
the
American term.
Oh, it is.
I think that's specific.
Yes,
to
I think that's. Yes, you're right. I think that is specific to Native Americans. You are right. You are so correct. But
I only know that because one of my friends on Facebook made a post to correct what people thought of two-spirit.
That's why I just say queer.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to explain to me what you are, honey. As long as you're under the queer rainbow, I'm fine with it. Don't be no shame. Come out as you are, as whoever you want to be. As long as you're under the queer rainbow, I'm good with that.
Yeah. I'm happy to be queer.
So,
I don't think I'd want to be non-queer.
So this actually is a subject that has come up several times. So I think I want to address it. When it comes to our transgendered and non-binary friends. If you misgender someone accidentally, it is okay. As long as and they know that the intention is the intention is not there to misgender you. It is okay. As long as that person if that person will correct you, and as long as you don't take the correction as like an insult or something, you should be fine. I have misgendered a couple of people in the past, but I've also learned that those same people will sometimes go by 2 different pronouns, and they're okay with going by that. So always ask someone. I think that's a little tip that I wanted to throw out here, especially to my older crowd, my older queens who think they're set in their ways. Y'all need to stop being set in your ways and learn to grow like the rest of us. So, for those gay men out there who still want to misgender, y'all need to stop doing that right now. You don't want to be. You didn't want to be treated the way that you were treated. Don't treat another person who's non-binary or trans the same way that you were treated. Do not do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to treat somebody the way they want to be treated.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's not anything hard to do.
So respect the pronouns. That's all. That's really the most. As long as you respect the pronouns, that person feels like a person,
right?
And that's what it really boils down to. So that's just a little PSA, little moment there.
Have you been in a situation where someone seems to be like they would go as a he, but then they want you to call them a she? And it might be a mental disconnect for somebody.
Well, I think one of the DJs, DJ Mel, I don't know if she's listening to this, and I really apologize for if I have misgendered you in the past. DJ Mel, who is one of the best DJs in Houston, by the way, prefers he, him pronouns, although he has been called she, her.
Is he the one that was DJing at the
yes.
bar thing?
Mm-hmm. So I made the mistake, and there was a conversation with another person, actually. It was actually a conversation with Charlotte where she said, no, you don't say she, her with male, you say he, him. And then another person said, well, she can go by, she or he can go by either pronoun, so it doesn't really bother her that much, or him that much. I'm just going to go with they in this case. It's so much easier. And I realize that for a lot of people, it's kind of hard to try to figure out what to call someone without being offensive. You want to make sure that you respect the gender that they're in or the non-gender that they choose to be in. So, you just want to make sure that you respect now, when a person walks up to me, I'm like, hey, how are you? What's your name? I would prefer to call you by your name. I don't like to use pronouns a lot when I'm talking to other people because I feel like it's easier. That way, I don't misgender you. I'd just rather call you by your name. But if I have to use you like in a sentence or something like that with another person, I also want that person to respect who you are too. So I try to make sure that I use the pronoun that's appropriate that you would want used. So if I'm talking to Chris about male, I would prefer to use he, him pronouns because that is what he would prefer to be called. But if male decides that it's okay to call she, her at the same time, then I'm also okay with that. I just don't want to. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes it can be confusing, but I just want people to be certain of what their pronouns are when right. when you're having a conversation with them. But like I said, I just prefer to call you by your name. It's so much easier. Right. And I don't have to sit there and I don't want to sit there and try to play guess your gender. I don't want to do that. Right. Everybody should just do their own thing. And I really just want to live in a world where everybody just does their own thing and nobody really gives a shit about anything that anybody does. And I understand we're with Christianity the way that it is right now. And let me tell you something about Christianity. Christianity is not a bad religion. It's just the people in Christianity that make it horrible. Just like Islam is not a bad religion. It's just the people in it sometimes that make it horrible. No religion is perfect. Everybody's going to have to... Oh, God. Oh, my God. I've either burped... I think I farted at one point.
I didn't hear that.
No, you didn't. It was a silent, but it wasn't quite so deadly. So you don't have to worry about that.
Okay, well, thanks for letting me know.
It wasn't quite so. No, you would have known. Trust me. You would have went. God, Joel, what did you do over there? Oh, you would have known because I know you.
What are your fart? You know me what?
Because I know you that if it was a fart that was a silent but deadly,
I'd let everyone know.
You'd let everyone. God damn it, Joel! What did you do over there?
What do your farts smell like?
You know what? I'd like to say they smell like potpourri, but they don't. And I like a burrito just like everybody else. So there we go. And usually and by the way, I make sure, and everybody should learn from this. If I'm eating the burrito, I'm on the comfort of my couch, either playing video games or watching my favorite TV show, and nobody has to know about it. Nobody.
No,
it's
what?
My
that
business.
You're farting?
Yes, that I'm farting all over the place. It's my business. As Tabitha Brown says, it's my business.
Oh, The other night I was walking to the store and it was late at night and I was like, there's no one around, and I just let some rip, and I looked across the street and some guy was like standing in his driveway. And I was like, oh shit.
You know, I love doing it outdoors when I'm walking past, like, because in my neighborhood, there's a lot of houses in my neighborhood. So I walk past and people are sometimes standing out in the yard with their dogs or mowing the lawn or whatever. And I'll just let one rip. And I'll just let it rip. And I don't care how loud it is sometimes because I'm outside.
I was in a bad mood yesterday and I was at HEB and I was like, I'm just going to fart all over the place. Fuck these people.
And I can tell, and by the way, I have walked through HEB, and I can tell people who've let one rip, and they'll have that look on their face, and I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. We out in public.
Well, before you know, they used to have their pastries out in the open. And you know, people are like standing right next to the pastries, farting all over the place.
Of course. Even when I order my deli meat, I know they standing there farting. They standing there farting. They were, hey, I really half pound of. I'm like, God damn, that must have been an incredible. Ooh, that fart was backed up. He said a half pound of roast beef instead of the quarter pound he really was.
Yeah, there must be a lot of people farting at a grocery store, I have to say.
The amount of methane gas going into the atmosphere because of human beings. Stop blaming it on the cows. Human beings are just letting it all out.
Do we fart methane?
I think we do.
Oh,
I mean, with our diets, I think we do.
You can light your fart, right?
If you can light your fart on fire.
It's methane, I guess.
It's methane. Oh, Lord.
I haven't tried that.
You know what? Neither have I. I've always wondered if I could do that. You know what? I think Chris and I are going to have like a bunch of drinks, and then we're gonna like light our farts on fire and see if it happens, and then we're gonna put it on TikTok. Oh, Lord. Because honestly, I think when you get older, the farts get more colorful.
Man, some of my farts, I swear, like some new life form is being formed. They are that bad.
I have a fart woke me up in the middle of the night once. Because it
was
so powerful. It was so, I'm like, whoa. I think my blanket raised up a little bit. I farted myself awake one time. I literally farted myself awake. And I knew what had happened. I had eaten a lot of Mexican food that day. A lot of Mexican food. I mean, a lot.
I don't eat a lot of Mexican food.
Not the normal amount.
Right.
Like maybe a couple of tacos or here and there. But a lot. I've either gone to somebody's house for a party or what have you, and they cooked. So I ate all day long, which, by the way, I love to do. I am a eater. I love to eat. And let me tell you something. I can taste something and know if you cooked it or if it came from the store.
Oh, of course.
Because there's a subtle difference. Just like I could tell the difference.
It's not subtle.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
I feel like I'm a pretty good judge of good food. Mm-hmm.
Because I can eat. If somebody brings a pound cake, I'm like, oh, this is Sara Lee. This is a Sara Lee pound cake that you defrosted. I know because I've done it several times, so I know what it tastes. This is not a real pound cake. Don't sit up there and tell me that you baked this. No, you did not bake that pound cake.
Well, wait. What if it's like a box mix?
Okay, so a box mix.
That doesn't really count.
A box mix is actually slightly...
Because that's almost like store-bought, pretty much.
Well, a box mix is slightly above something frozen because it's actually a little bit fresher. But
it's not above.
But it's so processed, it does, but when you taste a homemade...
Oh, hell yeah.
Pound cake, and you can literally bite into it and go, oh my God, this is homemade. This bitch put love in there.
Because it doesn't have the preservatives and the stuff in there that make the shelf life last longer, and it was just all assembled.
Yeah, exactly. And this bitch had 5 different mixers on the counter. She softened her butter or hardened it or whatever you needed to do for a pound cake. She put the work in. She planned this recipe like 2 weeks ago and had to buy all the ingredients and made sure that everything was set up properly on the counter. You can tell when you bite into a piece of cake and that love is put in. It's like, oh my God.
I would marry somebody if they cooked for me.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were hot.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I don't even necessarily care if they were hot. If they can cook and their dick is big enough, I'm okay. You don't have to be super hot.
And I'm attracted to them.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have
But if they can cook, that kind of makes me attracted to them.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, I'm already attracted.
I feel like there's nothing more romantic than someone cooking for you. Or you cooking for somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. Too. And you know, I spent a lot of time learning how to cook. You know, Asian dishes have been my thing for the last couple of months. So I have all these Asian ingredients in my counter, in my counter, in my pantry, and in my refrigerator.
Like, what do you like to make?
You know what? What has been the bane of my existence right now is fried rice. I'm not making fried rice properly, and I don't know why I'm not making it properly. Now, I know from watching all the videos, in order to make the perfect fried rice, your rice has to be cooked the day before. So you have to cook the rice the day before. You have to use day-old rice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But then, you know what I realized about rice? I didn't realize you had to wash it.
Before you cook it?
Yeah, I didn't realize you had to wash it. None of the people that I grew up with ever washed rice. They literally just stuck it in the pot and cooked it.
I think that's just to get like rid of gross stuff, right?
No, it's not really. It's really to just get some of the starch out of the rice. Oh. So if you don't want a starchy rice, that's what you wash the rice beforehand. Oh. To get some, it keeps it from. It
changes the way
it changes the way the rice comes out.
Wow.
It really does. And everybody that I grew up with, and these are Southern people I grew up with, by the way, they just threw it in a pot. Called it a day. Other cultures actually wash the rice way beforehand before they cook it. And it's a 3-step process because you have to wash the rice like 3 times, and you have to get it to the point where all the white comes off. Most of the white comes off, something like that. But yeah, you have to wash it. You have to wash it down to get the perfect fried rice. So fried rice has been my bane. I'm not making it right, so I have to figure out why it's so. When I make it, it's super sticky, and it shouldn't be so sticky. However, noodle dishes, I'm having a good time with. I can make noodle dishes.
I saw those pad thai noodles in there.
Yes. You know what I made? Last week, I made a noodle dish with hamburger meat that I did not think was going to be delicious. It was absolutely incredible.
It sounds yummy.
It was absolutely, and it was made with hamburger. I have never heard of an Asian dish made with hamburger meat. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this a try, but it's just going to taste like Hamburger Helper. And I'm not going to like this. And don't get me wrong. I like Hamburger Helper. I do. I'm not going wrong. It's an easy dish that you can make in a pot. But then I realized, wait a minute. Why am I making Hamburger Helper? I just make macaroni and cheese and fry up a burger. I don't really need Hamburger Helper for that. So you can make better dishes. I've learned that you can make better. The dishes that are super easy to make, you can actually make them on your own and they're still easy.
Right.
So like I said, with macaroni and with Hamburger Helper and Hamburger Helper macaroni and cheese is delicious. But
I've never had Hamburger Helper, actually.
But if you make it on your own, if you make it from scratch, when I say make it from scratch, I made macaroni and cheese from scratch for holidays. And it is absolutely delicious, by the way.
You just get cheese and pasta.
Oh, no. It's a little bit more. Oh, no. If you think it's that easy.
And milk.
It is not that easy. No. That is 2 hours standing over a stove.
2 hours?
2 hours. If you want to make a good macaroni and cheese.
That's like a James Bond movie.
Yeah, I know. If you want to make a good macaroni and cheese, especially, let me tell you something. Macaroni and cheese, as a black person of color, macaroni and cheese is a staple.
It is.
It is a staple. Yeah. And if you do not know how to make it, and we're not talking about making it out of a box.
Yeah, right.
Because for most of the year, honestly, if we do have macaroni and cheese, 90% of the time it comes out of the box.
Right.
But for holidays, oh no. You go out and buy all the expensive cheeses that you would never buy anytime during the year.
I thought you just get cheese and melt it and pour it over macaroni.
Oh no, there's several different cheeses involved. Everybody's recipes are a little bit different.
Right.
The recipe that I grew up with involved using Velveeta as a base. Because Velveeta melted so quickly, and then you add all the different cheeses to that base to make a really good sauce.
Yeah.
Some people make flour and milk to make a roux, and then they add cheese to do that. That's their base. You have to start with a base. So sometimes it's a roux, but with me, I use Velveeta cheese because one, like I said, I use I think maybe half a block because I don't want it to taste like Velveeta cheese. I want the other cheeses to be mixed in. But the reason why I use half a block of it is because Velveeta melts like that.
Yeah.
Whereas cheddar cheese and the rest do not melt so well.
No.
Add a little milk to it, and you melt it down, and then you can add all your cheeses. And all the other cheeses then start to take over the flavor. Especially if I start with a sharp cheddar. I always start with a sharp cheddar.
I love sharp cheddar.
I love a sharp cheddar. So a sharp cheddar is the starting cheese that you use in my macaroni and cheese anyway. And then you add the Colbys and the Munsters and all this other stuff to really give it some flavor.
Swiss, does that ever go with macaroni and cheese?
You can use Swiss, but I'm going to be honest, Swiss is not
Don't talk shit about my Swiss.
Swiss, you know what I love about Swiss? It's a low sodium cheese.
Oh.
So I can literally put Swiss on any sandwich. It's fantastic. It's a low sodium cheese. I love it. Could put it on.
Swiss is my favorite.
Yeah, Swiss.
And extra sharp. Cheddar.
Yes. So those two
or extra sharp.
Oh yeah. Oh, the sharper the better.
Yes.
I feel like, and when I'm talking about
can't be too sharp.
The sharpest cheese, especially in the macaroni and cheese, I go to the deli. I don't go to the cheese aisle and buy cheese.
Right.
When I make
fancy cheese,
I get the yes, I pay the money because if I'm making that macaroni and cheese from scratch, I'm paying the money. I'm not using that cheap ass shit. So yeah, so everybody has a different version, but I
would just eat it on a cheese and cracker if I was doing that. I mean, why even go the macaroni and cheese route?
Well, it's a once a year thing, and like I said, for the holidays, why not? But you're right. I put it on. Sometimes I'll put it on roast beef and make the best roast beef sandwiches. Oh my god, the best roast beef. Let me tell you something about roast beef too. If you get it from the deli, low sodium. I'm learning so much about how much sodium is in our foods.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy
it really
the amount of sodium that they put in. Everybody talks about fats and calories and all this other stuff, but here's what they do. If they take one thing out, they upgrade something else.
Yeah.
So if they take fat out of something,
to replace the flavor with something else.
So if they take fat out of something, they add more sugar.
Yeah.
If they take sugar out of it, then they add more salt.
Yeah.
And blah 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 blah. So you're always going to get something's going to go up, and sodium.
And anything you eat that's processed has a
fuckload of sodium. I did not realize
a fuckload. And if you eat at a restaurant, there is a fuckload of sodium.
Restaurants, however, are a little bit different. And
Really?
let me tell you why restaurants are a little bit different when it comes to sodium. I can't believe we're having this conversation, but let me tell you why. Because most restaurants realize that adding a lot of salt to foods, you can't do that. They will add every other spice to a food, and if you notice, they'll have restaurants that have salt and pepper shakers on the table do not add salt to their foods.
Interesting.
They rarely add salt to their food. They will add every other spice to their food, and they'll use a small amount of salt, just a small amount of salt.
But if you're going to if you're getting Mexican food or if you're getting Asian food, there's a fuckload of salt.
Well, you know why Asian food had to use a lot of salt? And this is the thing, and this is one of the biggest things that's always pissed me off about how weird racism can work in this country. The reason why that Asian foods in the United States use a lot of salt is because Asian foods used to use MSG. They didn't use a lot of salt.
Right.
But then someone made up the myth that a lot of people are allergic to MSG and you can't have it in foods and blah, blah, blah. MSG is naturally found in so many.
You can still use MSG in food.
Yeah. MSG is found naturally in almost all the foods that we eat. In almost all the foods that we eat. Even in nature. Tomatoes, celery. These foods have MSG, natural amounts of MSG in them. And MSG has been used for thousands of years by the Chinese. Salt has been used nearly in every culture on the planet. There's not a culture on this planet that does not use salt. Not one.
Well, I mean, salt is an essential.
It's an essential, yes. And
whatever.
When you cook with salt, you actually use a lot less sodium than if you cooked. Let's say you made a pizza at home. You would actually cook if you now.
You used MSG, you mean?
Well, let me take that back. If you made a pizza at home from scratch, most likely the meats you buy would be processed, and that's the truth. And pepperoni, sausage, that kind of thing, it is processed, and it's naturally processed. A lot of the pepperonis and stuff we get usually sometimes come from Italian recipes from Italy. So yes, they're going to have a little bit of salt because salt is used in processing.
Right.
It has been used in processing for thousands of years.
Right.
And it's used to keep food preserved for thousands of years. So salt is a natural occurring thing. But for basic meals, I mean, I looked at the side of macaroni and cheese one day and I'm like, this is 1,793 grams of sodium. The recommended daily amount of sodium is 2,500 grams.
Dude, if you get a bag of chips, it's like, oh, well, it's only 10% of my daily intake, but there's like 6 fucking servings in like one bag.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's a bag that you can eat like in an afternoon.
So
that's like 60% of your daily intake.
I know. So I've had to learn to be very cautious about what I buy when it comes to the amount of salt because, like I said, I'm really trying to keep I really want to get off the medications. I really don't want to take the medications. So if I can figure out how to eat less salt, that's what I try to do.
Well, you're cooking at home, so that's really what
I still eat out too, and I'm realistic. I eat out, and I still occasionally, don't get me wrong, I still like an occasional Jack in the Box at 1 o'clock in the morning when I'm sitting in front of the TV or I'm playing video games or what have you.
Dude, I have not had Jack in the Box for over a year.
And
I mean, where is there a Jack in the Box in here now?
There isn't really.
There isn't.
They all closed. And the funny thing is that if you want Jack in the Box, you have to get it delivered, and by the time you get it to the house, it's just a soggy, wet mess, and you don't want it anymore anyway. So, and the fries are like super cold, and you don't want it anyway. So why bother?
I stopped getting fries a long time ago.
Yeah,
but they're Jumbo Jacks. They're pretty good, and it's like only like a couple bucks.
You know what I love? I love the sourdough burgers. I love their sourdough burgers.
Yeah, I don't know if I've had that.
Yeah, I've loved their with a little bit of cheese and bacon, and I'm not really a big fan of bacon, but I'll eat it.
What?
I'm not a big fan of bacon.
Like blanket statement.
Okay, let me tell you something right now.
You're not a big fan of bacon.
I'm not a big fan of bacon, but let me tell you something right now because I know you opened my fridge. There is a slab of bacon in my refrigerator because out of all the foods, when I have breakfast in the morning, I need a breakfast meat. I need something to go with the eggs, so I need a breakfast meat. I mean, I'm sorry, I need a sausage, I need bacon, I need something.
Wow, you go all out.
Yeah.
Do you do this every morning?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, not every morning. Not every morning. Some mornings it's just oatmeal. But otherwise, when I really want breakfast, I want a sausage. I want some meat on the side. And I've tried, by the way, I am kind of a fan of the plant-based sausages and bacon. Problem is that they're super expensive.
Right.
They are super expensive. I mean, 4 patties for $6. Really? I'm paying $6.
I mean, maybe a sausage, but no. Don't give me a fucking plant-based bacon. Fuck that.
Well, no, plant-based bacon, I'm going to tell you right now. Stay away from it.
I could do a plant-based sausage.
A plant-based sausage, yes.
I mean, actually, an Impossible Burger, if it's done right, can be pretty damn good.
Yeah, it really is. And I've had an Impossible Burger from several different places. Now, I've noticed
different. Some of them are different.
If you overcook them, they can be crunchy. Which is a problem.
It depends on how they make them.
Yeah, if they overcook them,
the preparation is very critical.
Yeah, preparation is critical. But you know what the problem with the Impossible Burgers are? The high amount of sodium that they have.
I'm sure. Yeah,
they have a lot of sodium, which is not. I would rather just eat the fucking burger, and that's honest the truth.
Actually, I think I'm thinking like a burger is probably better than an Impossible Burger.
Yeah,
an Impossible Burger is so processed to make that.
Exactly. So you might as well just eat the burger, because honestly, An Impossible Burger, when you look at the nutrition facts, it's less healthier than a regular burger, to be quite honest. And I can't eat all. I mean, by the time I add all the toppings and everything else, that 500 grams of sodium now becomes close to 2,000 because I've added cheese, I've added mayo, mustard.
You don't need cheese on your burger.
Oh, no, I need cheese.
I think cheese takes away, actually.
No, I need cheese. I've had a few burgers that were so good that cheese was not necessary.
I don't get cheese. Well, I don't get cheese anyway anymore. But yeah, I like burgers better without cheese, actually.
And let me tell you something. A couple of those burgers were at Buc-ee's. Oh, my God, Buc-ee's.
I haven't had a Buc-ee's burger.
Oh, my God.
I've had their brisket sandwich.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, yes.
That's pretty good.
Oh, my God.
That's pretty good.
We are both smiling when we think about...
I'm not going to lie.
I'm not going to lie. We are literally sitting here smiling because...
I want some brisket right now.
I know. A Buc-ee's brisket sandwich is the most amazing experience on the planet.
But you know, the last time I had one, I was like, it's not as good as I remember it.
I don't know. It's just that we don't eat there because there's no Buc-ee's inside of Houston.
Right.
They're all outside on the road and what have you. I think that's a great thing because honestly, I could eat at Buc-ee's every day. I could literally eat at Buc-ee's every day.
Like a burger?
Like whatever. It's not just burgers. I can eat their brisket sandwich.
Oh, I mean, yeah, honestly, if it was
they have
close
a
by,
roast
if it was
beef.
walking distance,
Yes.
I'd be there every day.
Oh my God, roast beef and cheese. Oh my God, yes. I'm all about.
Have you had any of their like pastries or anything?
Yes, I've
had
their fudge brownies, which are amazing, by the way, and you can get them in several different flavors. And you know what I haven't had though is the Buc-ee's. What's that one called? The Crunch or something in a bag. Some people tell me I need to eat it with milk.
Bucky balls or whatever it is?
Yeah, I think so.
I've had that.
Yeah. And everybody's like, it's like a cross between Captain Crunch and something else. And I'm like, and I've even heard some people say that they eat it with milk, like a breakfast cereal.
Well, it's kind of like there used to be a cereal like that, where, like this corn balls.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, kind of like, yeah, I know what you're talking about with the frog on the front.
Was there a frog?
Yes.
Smack? That's Sugar Smacks.
Oh, is that Sugar Smacks?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that is Sugar Smacks, which I didn't like Sugar Smacks.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't understand. Ugh. It was like a rice. So I'm having rice with sugar all the time.
Right.
And
yeah. It was Corn Pops.
It was Corn Pops,
Yeah.
yes. So it kind of reminds everybody of Corn
What
Pops.
happened to Corn Pops?
Girl, most of these cereals have disappeared.
Man, dude, cereals are so crazy now.
I
They're
know.
all like colorful and marshmallows and princesses
You know what?
and frogs and
I'm like, okay, so the cereals go from one end of the spectrum to the other. Either they're super kid,
yes,
or they're so healthy that you're like, oh my God, I would poop for a week on that on one bowl of cereal if I ate that.
Well, you know what I got stuck on now is like there's granola with dark chocolate. I can't eat cereal now unless it has chocolate in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not.
You can live off of chocolate.
I know.
Everything has chocolate in it now.
I know. You know what I started buying? I started buying the dark chocolates, the super, because they told me I was told that those
dark
are
chocolate. What?
Like the super expensive chocolate bars in the candy section.
Yeah.
Yes. I was told that those are like super healthy for you.
Yeah, dark chocolate's good for you.
Yeah, so I bought like the super dark chocolates, and let me tell you something. Depending on the cacao,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
but depending on the cacao count, the higher the cacao count, the less sweet they are, and the more dense and chocolatey they are. So you really have to get used to the idea of. And I've had. Trust
Dude,
me.
I had like a 95%
Yes.
one, and it was just too much.
It was too much.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my
There's
God.
a threshold where it's just too much.
Yeah, I was like,
But I like it dark, for sure.
But I'm like, you know what? I could probably bake these into some brownies, add a little sugar to it, and it'll be all right. Yeah. So if you want to make some really dark chocolate brownies, you get that 95%. Oh my God, yes,
Maybe.
yes, or the
Maybe.
the cookies. If you want to make
Right.
chocolate chip cookies with that amount, yeah. But
if you're doing it for health, you just don't want a little bit of chocolate.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, because you will have to make a compromise because you'll probably have to add more sugar to the cookie mix so that
Right.
the chocolate The super dark chocolate balances it out because it's not as sweet.
Right.
So
I mean, the chocolate bar still has a lot of saturated fat in it.
But it also has the good fats in it. So it really depends on So it really depends on what the quality of the chocolate bar. But
absolutely,
for the most part, it's a little sweet that I like to eat when I'm in the mood for something chocolatey. I can put it in ice cream. Sometimes I don't eat a lot of I've really cut back on the dairy. You know what? I drink a lot more oat milk and almond milk.
Dude, I love them. I don't drink milk anymore. I think now that I stopped drinking milk, honestly, it's disgusting. But I mean, almond milk is so good.
But you know what I do? I make protein shakes with it, so it's a lot easier. Water in a protein shake is not that great.
No,
it really just no. So I add oat milk, or I started trying oat milk, and it's not as bad. It's still kind of gritty. It has a gritty aftertaste, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's okay.
And almond milk. No, I'm sorry. I have walnut milk. I
haven't had that.
I've tried walnut milk because I heard walnuts are good for your heart. So I started trying walnut milk, and it's actually quite good. But I like a little flavor, so I buy the ones with vanilla because I'm sorry, I need flavor.
Oh, I get unsweetened.
No, I can't get unsweetened. I need a little bit of flavor. But if it's only like
I get unsweetened.
But if I look at the sugar content and it's acceptable, I'll get it.
Because usually if I'm eating with something, whatever I'm eating it with has sugar in it already.
So, that's a good balance, too. But you know what? My protein shakes, it doesn't add too much sugar to my protein. It doesn't add too much more sugar to my protein shakes. But it's so low in calcium, I think, than regular milk. But I'm trying to think, do I really care about the fact that I'm not getting...
Does milk have natural calcium, or is it added?
No, I think it's added.
Yeah.
But do you really need that much calcium?
It's debatable.
It's debatable. It's debatable.
We're not giving medical advice.
We're not giving medical advice. If you like to drink milk, just drink milk. Bitches, just drink milk.
Suck that tit, baby. Suck it.
Exactly.
I mean, that's. I mean, it comes from a fucking cow tit, and you drink it. You know what? There's no replacement for milk though. Is ice cream. I've had alternative ice creams, and they're not.
No.
I mean, milk ice cream is the bomb.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It is the bomb.
I've tried dairy-free ice cream.
There's some that are good, but it does not compare to actual ice cream.
Yeah, but the ones that are good, I mean, a pint is $8. Are you serious? It's $8.
Oh, I'll go to
I'm
H-E-B and get like a little thing, and it's like $5.
I'm like, oh my God. Do I want this or do I want the Ben & Jerry's that looks even better than this? I'll go for the Ben & Jerry's because it's $6 cheaper than this. A lot of people don't understand that a lot of food decisions are made based on budget. It's like,
for sure.
I can't pay $8 for. I can't even see myself paying $8 for a pint of ice cream. I can't do it. It's too expensive.
And if you're going for the gluten-free or dairy-free shit, I mean, gluten-free products are so fucking expensive. It's like $5 for like a little package of cookies. It's insane.
I know. And honestly, most people still don't have an idea and understanding of what gluten is. Really, the only people who should avoid gluten are people who are actually allergic to gluten. When you're avoiding gluten,
or if you have an intolerance to it.
Yeah. If you're avoiding gluten because, this doctor said that gluten is, no, sweetie, no.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. I think that's debatable. I think people should research it and come to their own conclusions.
But most doctors...
I avoid gluten because when I eat it, it makes me feel ill.
Well, for most people, gluten... by the way, gluten has been around in breads for thousands of years. So...
It has, but I mean...
It's just a natural part of wheat that, you can't get rid of. And only about maybe 1% of the population really has serious gluten allergies.
True, yeah.
So only 1%. And you know what? I love the fact...
But there's also the theory, I mean, depending on what your philosophy is, like we didn't evolve to eat... We didn't eat gluten... when we evolved, so our bodies can't really tolerate it, and it has a lot of, I mean, grains like that. They have a lot of, I forget the term. It's plants have like chemicals in it to prevent animals from eating it, and wheat has a lot of those chemicals in it, and so it's hard to digest. Grains in general are hard to digest. So, I mean, depending on what your philosophy is, you might not want to eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's something you should research and come to your own
decision.
decision.
Yeah, exactly. So just do the research and come to your. Right now, I'm completely fine with gluten in my breads and stuff, and I've had gluten-free things, and I'm like,
Oh, trust me, if I could eat gluten, I would, because bread is so fucking good.
I need it for my sandwiches and my toast.
It's so yummy.
I gotta have my toast in the morning. I need it for my sandwiches and my toast.
Well, eat that shit. Eat one for me every morning. See, I'm eating this for you, Chris.
Good Lord, but yeah. So I'm and like I said, I like my breads, but I don't eat as much bread as I used to. I find that I don't eat a lot of things that I used to eat, like in abundance.
Right.
And
bread, I guess they say it has a lot of sodium in it too.
I think about a slice of bread is about, depending on the bread, and I buy oat nut bread because it lasts longer, amazingly enough.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, is
that a brand?
No, it's actually made from oats. It's a bread made from oats, oat flour.
Oh,
so yeah, it's made from oats. So, well, it's not made from oat flour. It still has some wheat flour in it, but it has a lot of oats in it, and the shelf life is a little longer, I think, than ordinary bread. I can have my oat nut bread sitting up there for a month, whereas opposed to regular white and wheat bread only lasts about a week before it goes moldy. So I like the convenience of it, and I like the taste of it. It's just really grainy, and I just feel good when I eat it. And regardless of what I put in between it. Sometimes I put hot dogs in between it. Sometimes I put something healthy in between it. But, it's really become more about balance, because I really do think that I ate so many you know what I used to love? The little hamburgers that you would buy from the convenience store. Their process is fuck.
Oh my God, what?
Their process
Are you
is
insane?
Fuck. And you stick them in the microwave.
I stopped eating those after my freshman year in high school.
Yeah, their process is fuck. And you would stick them in the microwave, and you knew that this was not a burger in any way, shape, or form, but it was still delicious.
I don't think I'd call it delicious.
I thought it was delicious until I read the side of the package, and I realized there's 2,963 grams of salt.
Actually, are there AM PMs around here?
What are AM?
You know what? It's like a convenience store. It's like a 7-Eleven.
No, there's none.
Oh man, they have really good like hamburgers and corn dogs and stuff.
Yeah, Houston has a reputation. It has literally the most corner food stores than any other place in the country. You literally can walk. There's literally in every neighborhood in Houston.
Is that because of the no zoning?
Yeah, I think it's because of the no zoning. But
I don't know. When I lived in Vegas, there's literally 7-Elevens like everywhere.
Actually, I think most of the convenience stores ran 7-Eleven out of Houston because there were so many convenience stores that 7-Eleven couldn't compete.
Probably.
So I think they actually ran them out of.
Yeah, are there 7-Elevens here?
There's still, I think, a few 7-Elevens in Texas. I don't think they're here though.
There were some in Rock,
yeah, I think they're still here in Texas. There might be maybe one or two holdouts in the suburbs somewhere.
Right.
But for the most part, there's not been a neighborhood that I've lived in Houston where I couldn't walk to a convenience store. I mean, there's literally not been a neighborhood.
I think that's great. I mean, that's the point. That's the point of a convenience store.
Yeah.
They're convenient.
Yeah, they're convenient. They're also super expensive when it comes to certain things, but for the most part, they're convenient when it comes to the small things, but they're super expensive when it comes to everything else. So they're not a replacement for grocery stores.
No. Yeah.
So
no.
Don't get it twisted. They're not. They're good for.
You're paying for the convenience.
Yeah, exactly. If I want to get like a little candy bar and a soda.
But why is it so expensive? I don't understand. Because they're paying less. They're buying less in bulk? Is that what it is?
You know what?
I don't get it.
Because they can make more money off of that product.
So it's just supply and demand.
It's just supply and demand. So let me tell you something. Convenience stores kind of helped me out last summer when I couldn't get dishwashing liquid. Oh my God! When I could not find bleach or dishwashing liquid, I could walk to the convenience store and find
Was that a thing?
Yes, that was a thing. Everybody was buying up bleach, dishwashing liquid, and toilet paper.
Well, I know the toilet paper.
Yeah, but bleach, and half the time I would go to H-E-B and there would be nothing on the shelves when it comes to dishwashing liquid. And
wait, are you one of those types when you're washing your dishes, you're like squirting it all over the place?
No, for the most part, I stick everything in the dishwasher, but occasionally there's like my iron.
Like some people really use it really fast.
Yeah, well, like my iron skillets. Wait,
you have iron skillets?
Yeah, I have cast iron skillets. I have 2.
I'm impressed.
Everybody should have one in their house. They're so easy to use and they're so versatile.
They are.
They're so
heavy,
versatile. They are heavy and they will last you for thousands of years. As long as you season and take care of them, yeah, they will.
They will. I'm all about them.
I've known people who've had the same pot for 5 generations. So yeah, they are.
I've actually never owned one.
Mm-hmm. I bought one, amazingly enough, last summer during the summer of COVID. I'm like, you know what I need? A cast iron skillet, because everybody keeps saying online you should have a cast iron skillet in the house. And I've used to cook everything from steaks to chicken.
Wait, is that what you cook your eggs in?
No, you don't cook your eggs in a cast iron. No. That's a separate skillet. Please, you do not use eggs in a cast iron.
Why?
One, they kind of ruin the seasoning sometimes.
Oh, eggs do?
Yeah, and they're not. And most cast irons aren't nonstick anyway, so I don't understand why you would use a. Yeah, you wouldn't want to cook eggs in a. Yeah, it's not nonstick, so most of your eggs would be stuck to the pan anyway.
Well, I thought the point of a cast iron was that, well, like the sort of the fat that's the seasoning or whatever seasons your food, but also it's kind of makes a nonstick type thing.
Yeah. It can, but like I said, eggs. Not for eggs. Eggs are kind of toxic to an iron skillet, so you don't want to use eggs. Also, I wouldn't bake cakes in them either, simply because if you made meats and all.
Ew.
I've seen people make I've made cornbread in a cast iron. By the way, cornbread
that would work.
Cornbread works. I mean, because you could literally have bacon grease in your cast iron skillet,
yummy,
and it would be delicious.
Yeah.
You know, I say the few times that I do cook anything with bacon or pork, if I've made recipes that call for it, I save my grease.
Well, of course,
I save that grease because that grease is delicious.
Of course,
I save it because it is delicious. And you know, I might use it to fry some chicken. I might add it to the few times I don't really fry a lot anymore. I use my air fryer, which I love.
Wait, you have an air fryer?
Yes.
What?
Yes,
why aren't you
queen.
making me meals, bitch?
Yes, queen. I have all kinds of stuff. Girl, I've got all kinds of gadgets in there. I spent last summer.
Next time I should bring over the groceries and we can air fry some shit.
Yes. You know what I made? I made some chicken fingers one time. I made some buffalo wings in there.
So wait, how does it work? How does it work?
Air fryer?
Yeah.
Oh, you just make all your stuff, spray the racks.
Okay.
Put everything on the racks, and you cook it for about 20. And it has all the buttons, so
if I have some cauliflower, I have some cauliflower at home. Like if I had an air fryer, I just pop it in.
You know what I love? I love to roast vegetables in there because.
How do you do? You just pop them in.
You pop them in. You spray them with I spray them with a little butter or canola oil, and add a little salt and pepper. I like paprika because I like my stuff to be a little spicy. So I add a little. You can add whatever you want to it on the top, and then I just stick it in there for about 10 minutes, and instant roasted vegetables right there.
I like spicy too, by the way.
So when I have cauliflower or broccoli, and I want to roast it, I just stick it right in there with a little pan of water because you want a little moisture. With a little pan of water on the bottom, oh my God, it's delicious.
Yeah, I've never had anything air fried before.
Oh yeah,
I feel like my life isn't complete.
Okay, well, you know what? You're gonna have to come over a couple of times.
You could Can you air fry those cake thingies?
Yes, you can.
That would probably. Have you had a fried Twinkie before?
No, I've not had a fried Twinkie before.
They're amazing.
Okay, first of all, not everything in Texas needs to be fried.
Well, I mean, I didn't get my fried Twinkie in Texas.
So.
But fried Twinkies are really good.
Yeah, fried Twinkies. Yes, I had them at a carnival.
Fried Twinks.
Oh, well, that's a different subject right there. That's a different subject. I'm hoping for, what I'm hoping for? I'm hoping the Renaissance Festival opens up this year.
Is it happening? It happened last year, didn't it?
No, it didn't happen last year.
It didn't?
No, it didn't happen last year. Nobody happened last year. Nobody wanted to gather in that large of a group.
Well,
but now that a lot of us are fully vaccinated, we're ready to get out and start doing stuff. So,
no, has everyone had a chance now? Now at this time, everybody's
getting a. I mean, they are literally open up.
At this point, if you want to get vaccinated, you've probably had a chance to.
Yeah, exactly. And their vaccination centers are opening up all over. You can get vaccinated at Walgreens or CVS. There's not an excuse, and you get it for free. So if you don't want,
you're either going to be dealing with COVID or dealing with the vaccine.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather deal with the vaccine.
I'd rather just have the.
But man, some people have had really bad, the next day.
Well, like I said, I was a little ill for about a day and a half, but I was fine after that. And in fact, I never felt better after that. I mean, I felt fantastic. But luckily, and here's what I did: I took the weekend off because I usually work weekends. I took a couple of days off from work just to make sure I didn't get sick while I was at work, and I didn't want to have to call in and go, "Oh, I took the vaccine on Friday and I'm not feeling good." So I just took a couple of days off just to make sure. And like I said, for a day and a half, I had a little bit of the chills. My body ached, and I have a small fever. I think I only had about 101 fever, and that was it. I took some time. I slept all day. I pretty much slept. I laid on the couch and I just slept. And
I got drunk and I didn't feel anything. Seriously.
You got drunk.
And then my friend tells me you're not supposed to drink, and I'm like, oh shit. Am I gonna die?
No, you're fine.
Well, I'm still here. So.
Yeah, you're still here, and it's been way longer than 2 weeks, so you're good.
I'm good.
And mine was 2 weeks today.
But I still have not made out. Oh, so wait. Today is your going out. I'm coming out of the closet.
I'm not going out.
I'm coming out.
I got vodka in the refrigerator. Why am I going out now?
Because there's hotties out.
I know there's hotties out. But, I have to get ready for all of that. Oh,
get ready.
Get ready. And you know what? The sad thing is that my credit card is floating around out there, so I have to find out where one of my credit cards is floating around out there.
Wait, what do you mean?
I left my credit card at one of the bars. I can't remember which one.
Did you cancel it?
Yeah. I'm gonna get a new credit. I can just walk to the bank and get a new credit card. Not a big deal. So, I already canceled it. I'm like, I called the one place that I thought it would be. It wasn't there. So I'm like, once I knew it wasn't there, I'm like, I'm not fixing to go around the entire neighborhood trying to figure out where I left my credit card, so I'm just going to cancel it.
Yeah,
get a new card. It takes like 2 minutes. So, so I'll just walk up to the bank tomorrow and get a new card. Not a biggie. Not a biggie.
Yeah, well, wait. So we should go out this weekend and celebrate your
You keep talking about
coming out.
Okay, I'm working all weekend. I'm not fixing to... No.
What?
My weekend starts on Monday.
I need more... I need more friends.
My weekend starts on Monday. Look, I might hang out with you on a Sunday night because that's the last day of work, but I'm not.
I'm always tired on Sunday night.
That's because you went out the night before.
No, because I'm old. I was supposed to go out on Sunday with a friend, and I cleaned house. I cleaned my 1-bedroom apartment. I was so tired afterwards. I was like, no, I don't want to go out.
Let me tell you something. Cleaning your apartment all day? Oh, no. I
had let some things go. Like my bathtub was disgusting.
I know. And when you're living alone, you're like, you know what? I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And then when I decided to kind of rearrange the living room and stuff, it took me 3 days to throw out stuff. I'm like, oh, this needs to be cleaned, and then this needs to be done, and then blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So it took me forever, and I did all this by myself. So I'm moving a big old couch by myself. I'm moving heavy tables. I'm moving a TV.
Wow.
I'm moving all kinds of stuff by myself. Yeah, I'm moving all kinds of stuff. And, I still have that old 46-inch, 50-inch, whatever, TV from like 2008. So.
Wait, that's a different TV right there. Oh, no, that's you're talking about that one.
Yeah. So yeah,
It's so good.
And then I had to unplug. You know how many cords there were to my computer, my laptop, my desktop. 15 billion cords.
I'm sure.
That I have to, and then I have to figure out which cord goes where and all this other stuff. So, that takes...
Life's so hard, Joel.
I know.
It really is hard.
I know. First world problems,
all
right?
This technology. God.
I know, because I love to be surrounded... I'm sorry. I love technology. I like to be surrounded by it. I mean, I have... Well, I'm not even going to go into detail what's in my house. All I know is that...
No, please, go into detail.
No, nobody on the air needs to hear all of that. And besides, I want people... I live in a very secure building, thank you very much, and I do not want to come home and find my door open.
Oh, well, you ain't got all that.
I got enough.
I
got enough.
You got some stuff.
I got some stuff. So let's just say I got some stuff and leave it at that. I already talked about my desktop.
And I know your address too.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, just hit me up. Hit me up. I'll give you the lowdown. Spunkmeyer Brown at Instagram. Cash App. Thank you.
Oh, good Lord. You can have these people Venmo you, huh?
Cash App, honey.
Cash App? Okay. I just got PayPal, so.
Well, everyone wants to pay you in different ways. It's
I know.
Damn.
I know. You go
or
out.
You're like, you want to help someone, and you're like, I want to help you because you're in a tough spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it has to be this.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, excuse me.
It's like, oh my God.
I have to download another application.
I know. It's
hook
like
up my financial stuff.
You know what's wrong with my phone right now? It's got so many apps on it. I have very little room. So if I have to download another Cash App, I have to get rid of something else.
I thought you had an iPhone.
I do have an iPhone.
I don't have that problem with Android.
Okay, you know what? Okay. Okay, I've been told.
But you know what? I still can't scan a QR code.
You still can't. You still can't scan a QR code. That's your fault.
Whenever we go to a restaurant, everyone's like scanning the menu, and I'm like, "How do I do this?"
Yeah, exactly. That's your fault. You
spending the whole an hour.
You need to upgrade your Android. That's all I'm saying.
No, my Android's fine. Actually, I do. The only reason why I would upgrade this is because I would like a camera that had digital stabilization. This one doesn't have any.
No. And we talked about this last summer. You were going to get a new phone.
No, this is the new one.
You know how many cracks are in that phone? That's the new one?
Well, wait, last summer? 2 summers ago.
That's the new one?
This is the new one.
You have more cracks in it? Oh, my God. That phone has more cracks in it.
Okay. Look, there's all the cracks are on the outside.
Oh my God!
The screen
this looks like your old phone.
I know it does, but the screen itself is not cracked.
Why will you not buy a phone protector or some kind of something to protect your phone from?
Okay, I don't believe in phone protectors.
Okay, you know what? You don't use a condom during sex, do you?
I don't have anal sex. I have sex with myself.
Okay.
So no.
So you don't use a condom during sex.
Speaking of dildos, though, I was actually looking to buy one.
You know what?
But I don't know.
Okay, so we're an hour and 37 minutes into this. You want us to just now start talking about dildos now? You want us to just? We need to take a break because I need to hear this story because honestly, I've been thinking about it too. So we've been talking
for 90 minutes already.
We've been talking for 90 minutes.
Shit.
So let me just put this on hold for just a second. We'll be right back, folks, because
we're about to get real.
Yeah, it's about to get real. So we'll be right
after
back.
hours.
And we're back. Let me do this one more time.
Houston's hot mess of a podcast.
I just love doing that.
I mean, those intros are so good.
I just love doing that. And we're back. And we were gonna end the show, but I think we're gonna go a little bit longer because we're gonna talk about. We were just about to start talking about dildos, and I have been interested in buying a dildo because, and honestly, this is really because
you want to stick it up your butt.
No, because I want to try to be a bottom again. Because I used to be a bottom for the longest time, and then I was told to switch over to a top because it seems that I have ample servings. So
Right.
I switched over to a top, but I missed being a bottom.
Oh, I mean, I just saw your shoe in the bathroom, and it's fucking gigantic.
Okay. First of all, shoe size does not equate
It
to
doesn't. It
dick
doesn't.
size.
But odds are.
Let me just say this. I'm thicker than I'm longer. So we'll just... and everybody told me that girth is the best thing.
I don't...
Length.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I mean, I'm not a bottom, so I don't know.
So
I would just be scared if it was too thick.
But yeah, girth is... I have girth. I mean, maybe length. I might...
So wait, is it like that?
Oh, no. 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 Maybe about like that. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, about like that.
Okay.
But and you can't see the finger movement that I didn't. Y'all don't need to know that anyway. But no, I'm not porn hung. Let's just say that. Because I think people need.
You're doable. You're not monstrous.
Yeah, I'm not somebody that you're going to go, oh no.
Oh hell no.
Put that away. No, thank you. Mm-mm. And I've seen some queens go, you know what? Let's go on an adventure. Why not? And good for them. Good for them. But these are also the same queens that don't have a problem with a fist. And I'm not going to say anything more about that. So,
so dildos.
So yeah. So I
saw ones that. What do you think about the suction cup on the dildo? I can't decide if that's a good thing or not.
I don't know. I mean, I like the idea that I don't have to do all the work.
But what would you suction it to?
Well, I've seen okay. Let's not lie on the show. I've watched enough porn. You just stick it on a door, I guess. Bathroom door, bedroom door, wall in your bedroom.
Yeah, I don't think a suction cup is for me.
Maybe on a little platform that you put on the bed. Although that seems like a lot of work. Because then you got to make the platform to put on the bed.
I guess when I've ever used a dildo like that, I've been like sort of sitting down and sort of. I don't know what I would suction it to.
Well, you don't actually have to buy one with a suction, do you?
I know. No, I'm just wondering if I would prefer one. With
if you didn't like it before, why would you get something that you're not going to use?
I didn't have I didn't have that option.
And besides, I would rather
getting fucked by a door doesn't sound.
It doesn't
sexual. It doesn't sound
no,
hot.
And I've seen guys who...
It sounds kind of desperate.
I've seen guys who have done it. Like, you know what? Amazingly enough, I see it more on Twitter than I see in porn. Twitter is a hotbed of OnlyFans porn. So, yeah.
Wait, is there porn on Twitter?
Yes. Where have you been?
I'm not on Twitter.
Oh, my God, yes. Only when Tumblr stopped allowing you to have...
Yes.
Erotic movies.
Yes. That went to Twitter?
They all went to Twitter. So if you want
I should get on Twitter.
You should get on Twitter. Okay. Because I'm gonna be honest,
because Instagram, I like Instagram, but that's like PG.
Yeah, Instagram is PG. You don't see much, and
I don't need much. I like body anyway. But sometimes you want to see more.
I want to see the dick. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see the dick.
Sometimes you're like, I want to get the full experience.
Full experience, my ass. I want to see the dick. I don't. You know what? Here's the thing, and I think porn has really taught me this. I've seen all kinds of body types. And I'm not opposed to in the old days of porn, it was all about the muscular guys. And it has been, and it still kind of is on a certain level. Mm-hmm. But I like seeing regular guys having sex. I like seeing guys who have a little bit of a belly having sex. I like seeing people who look like me enjoying themselves and having sex. So
I don't like to watch people having sex. That freaks me out.
No, I love it. I
watch just solo.
No, I love it.
Really?
I do. It depends on...
And then they have a shot where like the penis is going in the ass and the balls are like
I'm not really...
It kind of freaks me out.
I'm more of we don't need an up. I don't really need an up close. I don't understand why they do that. I guess there are some people who like that. I'm not like that. I don't like to see the penis.
I started thinking about like the meaning of life and what's going on and existential crisis.
When I start to think about I start to question my gayness because I'm like, how can he take that? I don't know if I could be able to take that. And then and then your little ass kind of pops out and turns red, and I'm like, it just makes it look so terrible. It makes gay sex look like horrible and painful, and I'm like, I don't want to see. You know what I like to see? I like to see the upper shots where it's just the guy entering the guy, and you see the different positions. And I like watching the ass jiggle in the back.
Oh, that sounds hot.
Yeah, that's hot.
Yeah,
and watch, when a top is doing his bottom, I like to see that ass jiggle a little bit and see how much.
Hot.
And I've learned a couple of good things from porn that I've learned. One, that whole thing with flipping a guy upside down and doing all that stuff, that's not necessary. It really hurts them, and it's just.
What do you mean? Where they're on their back?
No, like when they'll be like.
When they're doggy style?
No, when they'll be like literally a guy
standing and they're upside down.
They're upside down and they're sticking their dick down in there, and it's like, how is that even? That's not even. Who is that for? You don't need to be super athletic when it comes to sex. I don't really.
Actually, I did that with somebody, and it's kind of hot. Actually,
really, because I had it done to me. First of all, I hurt my shoulder and my neck. Secondly, it did not feel good.
Wait, were you actually turning someone upside down?
No, I was actually turned upside down, legs open.
Like it?
No, I didn't particularly care for it. No, I didn't.
Oh, well, I wasn't being fucked. We were 69.
Yeah, exactly. No, I did not care for it at all, and I
mean, this was like 10 years ago, so I was a little bit more like.
And I didn't understand why he wanted to go through all of that's too much work.
It was kind of hot.
It looks hot.
I mean, if someone can actually pick you up and turn you upside down and do whatever, that's kind of hot.
Oh, now I like the ones where they pick you up and fuck you. That's hot. That is hot.
I like to be manhandled.
That is hot. Yes, exactly. That is hot. Where they're so into you,
bam,
and they just lift you up onto the bed and they just slam it on there. It's like,
that's hot.
First of all, you so strong.
Yeah.
Secondly, then I'm like, you so strong, and that feels goddamn good. Don't stop.
And you're all like feeling their chest.
Exactly. So, and I know they can't hold it up for long, so you try to get it in as much as you possibly can. But then they slam you on the bed, and then they don't stop, and then it's like, yes, queen, yes, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Don't stop doing that. The few times that and like I said, this is why I miss being a bottom. I got really, sometimes you get sick and tired of looking at these bottoms having a good time in these videos. And then you're like, I want to do that. This is why I don't have the proper skills now.
Yeah.
So now
it can feel really, really good.
Because it feels really, really good. And so that's one of the reasons why I would like to buy a vibrator, is to try to get that section a little bit.
Oh, you're going the vibrator route.
Yes. I think I want to go the vibrator route because,
why?
One, I kind of want to, you know what? Like I said, I kind of want to get used to being a bottom again. So I need to kind of get it a little bit open and used to.
Well, what's with the vibrator part?
I just think it would be cute. I just think it would be hot. And like I said, I've talked to a couple of people who are like, oh my God.
Vibrators?
Vibrators, yes.
Oh shit, really?
Yes.
So I should get a vibrator.
Yeah. So, because once it hits that prostate, oh my God. Supposedly it's like, yes, and it's vibrating. It's supposed to be like super amazing and gives you the one of the most outrageous blowjobs. But, like I said, I just wanted to, I want a dildo simply because I want to get used to being a bottom again.
Yeah.
And
I feel like I'm a virgin again, and I need to sort of.
That's what I feel like too.
I need to sort of get back into it.
That's what I feel like too, because there was a gentleman.
And everyone's into fucking now, and I mean, I can top someone if they want me to, but sometimes I just it takes a lot of energy.
I don't mind topping. I honestly do not mind topping. I like it sometimes, but
I like topping if I could just lay there.
But I kind of, like I said, when I have somebody under me and I feel like they're having a good time, and then I get pissed off because I'm like, it's not like I'm not having a good time. I am enjoying myself too, especially if I'm with an experienced bottom. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, I miss being a bottom. I so miss being a bottom because it feels so incredibly good. I don't care what anybody says.
And a lot of times, if you're fucking a bottom, they're so they're so like they've been fucked so many times, it doesn't even feel like you're fucking anything.
Exactly. So, well, I don't want to be that bottom, but I want to be a bottom enough where they are having a good time and I'm having a good time. But
yeah, I
think honestly, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, sometimes I think that being a top is sometimes overrated. I think being a bottom is the best thing you want to be. Well, I think that's why there's too many bottoms in Houston right now.
I mean, it feels good for a reason.
It feels fucking fat. And let me tell you something. The first time that I had 10 inches, I was going to put a wedding ring on this man. I swear to God, I was going to put a wedding ring on this man.
Well, you know, when you get fucked, it releases oxytocin. So
I know.
You literally fall in love with the person who's fucking you.
I was going to put a wedding ring on this man.
That's why bottoms get all emotionally crazy about their top.
And then I said something that scared him off, and I do not remember what I said.
I love you?
I probably said that. That was probably it. That was most likely it. I think I said I love you after... When I should have said I love it, but I said I love you. I'm like,
oh, shit.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm not coming back over here again. Bye. And that was one of the, and I call this one of those unicorn moments. That was one of those unicorn moments where we flip flopped. So I started off by fucking him, and then he was like, you know what? Do you mind if I? And I'm like, well, I don't know. You are way hung. You are more way hung than I am. I don't know if I can handle it. But I handled it, and I loved it.
I mean, 10 inches is pretty...
I think 10 inches...
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And I didn't think I could handle that. But I'm going to tell you something right now. 10 inches and thick... Oh, my God.
Wow.
I
mean, 10 inches...
I reached new levels of ecstasy at that moment. Because I was like...
Okay, well, what size dildo are you going to get?
I don't know. I think I'm going to start off small because, like I said, I have not been with...
work up to something bigger.
And then maybe work up to something... Look, I'm going to be honest here. I'm not looking to get ridiculous here. Okay, I'm not looking to have a 12-inch dildo, blah, 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 blah.
Well, yeah, you don't want to stretch yourself out.
It's not that. I just think it's just ridiculous. I don't want to go that high. I feel like most of the men I'm going to be with are going to be average or above average. So let's just not go there when it comes to that. And if I do meet a man who's above average, if he can get it in there and get the work done, I can handle it. But I feel like let me start small and work my way up. So that's what I just want to feel what the last guy I was with wanted to have a dildo during sex, and I didn't particularly care for it. And I think it was an ego thing because it's like, what's wrong with my dick? If you need this dick during sex. But now I'm starting to wonder, was I too judgmental about that? Because I think I might want to try that.
Well, what was he proposing?
No, he brought a kit. This was someone I was having sex with on a regular basis, and then one day he brought a kit with several different size dildos.
What was the reason?
What, to use a dildo?
Like he wanted you to use the dildo on him?
Yeah, because he thought it was hot.
Interesting. I
didn't think it was so hot, and I did it because I wanted to pleasure him, but I wasn't feeling where my pleasure was. So I wasn't on the same level, and so I'm just like, you know what? If you don't like my dick, then I don't want to do this.
Right.
But I think psychologically, I think I was a little jealous because I felt like he was having more fun with that than he was having with me. And
well, that's kind of rude in a way.
Yeah.
And if you're being fucked by someone and then you bring a dildo and say, hey, fuck me with this piece of plastic as opposed to your appendage.
But I think he thought that it added to the whole pleasurable sexual experience.
Maybe. I mean, it's good to experiment and play.
I think it's good to play, but I think I refused to play because I always thought that I was good enough for it. But then I realized, wait a minute, everybody's sexual energy is changing, and it's sometimes hard to keep up. And I get a little intimidated sometimes because it's like,
it's intimidating. You
want me to do what to you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, can we just go back to normal gay sex?
I feel a little intimidated because when you get older, like I'm a little bit older, and then I should be more experienced than I am, but also, like, people just want different things than it was when you were younger.
That's true.
Things change.
And trust me, when you get a little bit older and you have one of those moments, when you can't figure out why things aren't working, when they were working just yesterday, but you couldn't figure out why things weren't working at that moment, and then you're like, it's not you, it's me. But then you're thinking, maybe it is you. I don't know, because
well, you just start overthinking things.
So when you have one of those moments and he's like, it's okay, we can do it another day, and I'm like, no, I don't. This didn't happen the last time we did this. Don't know why it's happening now. But I also, like I said, I'm also on certain medications, so I figured out that could be it.
Right.
So I had to back it up with other stuff. So yes, and I was told, here's what I was told: you need to eat a lot of celery and pomegranates. Maybe. Because it's supposed to be good. And I'm talking to young men who are having these problems. I literally talked to a kid who is half my age, literally. And he and I are both on the same blood pressure medicine.
Interesting.
I'm like, are you serious? He goes, yeah, I take the same exact medications that you do.
Wow.
Because my blood pressure is so high. And I'm like, well,
and
he's 26 years old.
And he's on blood pressure medications.
And it made me think about me, because I thought, oh, I'm old, and this is what happens when you get old, and blah, 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 blah. And then he's sitting there going, well, because he actually was in the kitchen making himself a drink, and he goes, oh, I take this same medication. And I'm like, well, I only have 3. I have one for cholesterol, and I have 2 for high blood pressure. So is your cholesterol high? That's what I'm thinking at first. And he's like, yeah, I'm taking Alisapril. And I'm like, so you're on blood pressure medication? And he goes, yeah, my blood pressure is like super high, bro. It was like 2 something over something. And I'm like, what? So was mine.
Right.
And I had to go into the hospital. He goes, I had to go to the hospital too, because they put me in the hospital because my blood pressure was so high. And I'm like, you're 26. Wow.
Sounds like they could just have a medical issue of some sort.
Yeah. So it's like, no, I feel like that me having high blood pressure over 50 seems normal.
Yeah.
Blood pressure at 26, that's a medical issue.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I feel like that where I'm at is pretty normal. And as an African-American man, high blood pressure is pretty much written in our DNA. We have high blood pressure over 50. It is what it is. Right. Eat better, exercise a little bit more, which I still do not do enough of. And I will say this, I do not exercise enough. I used to go for walks all the time. I used to do all kinds of stuff. And then I don't know what point I got into this. I don't want to do anything. I mean, I'll come home and lay on the couch and I won't get up off the couch.
Well, I mean, when I get up, the first thing I do is go exercise. Literally before I do anything else, I go exercise for an hour.
The first thing I do when I wake up, I go take my pills. I lay back down and take a nap. Then I wake up. Then I make myself something to eat. Then I lay on the couch and I watch TV the rest of the day. Then I get up. I go to my computer. Then I go to the computer and I play video games for the rest of the day. Then I get up and then I'm like, oh, I'm really hungry. Then I'll walk down the street to the grocery store to get groceries, or Uber to the grocery store to get groceries.
You Uber to HEB?
Yes. I'm not ashamed to say it. Yes, I do sometimes. Uber to HEB because I'm like, oh my God, it's too far to walk. And
are you insane?
Well, if I Uber to HEB, here's what happens when I Uber to HEB. I spend $150 on groceries.
I understand Ubering back.
So that's what I do. But if I'm going to make like a simple dinner, I will walk half the time. And I have my own bag. I have my HEB bags. I don't use the plastic or paper bags anymore. So I have my own bag. and that's what I do. So I'm okay with it. And like I said, I know that I need to get up off the couch, and I used to walk to the comic book store to get comic books every week. I haven't been to the comic book store in months.
Is there one walking distance?
Yeah, if you cross.
The one on Shepherd?
Yeah, no, it's off of Shepherd it's off of Shepherd, but we're talking
freeway.
Yeah, we're talking like you guys know that. But the fact of the matter is there's a comic book store, Nan's Comics, right down the road.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that walk to Nan's is actually a gorgeous walk. From my house, you go down Hazard, across that cute little bridge. Then you walk down the street, and Nan's is on this strange street that really doesn't have a lot going on for it. So you walk down the street, and it's a nice little hilly little walk, and you're walking past a nail and makeup salon, maybe a kid, one of those Montessori schools, and then you get to Nan's, and it's a nice little walk. It's just a cute little walk. Very picturesque. You have a view of the freeway, but not really because of all those trees right there. But it's a nice little walk, and I used to take that walk to get at least 2 or 3 comic books a week. And then I come back home and read comic books every day. And so, I don't know, I just got super lazy and what have you. So, not saying a little bit of I used to be super active, and I don't know why I stopped being super active. And I think I stopped being super active because I stopped being super sexual, and then I stopped being super sexual because So it's been a whole thing,
right?
So that's what's been going on. So so now I'm trying to get myself back to the point where I'm trying to get up and do things and everything else. And I think everybody goes through that at a certain point.
Absolutely.
And I think that everybody. And for those of you who are listening, who will listen to this episode, that you go through those moments where you're like, it seems like my life should be fantastic, but what is wrong and why can't I not get out of bed? Or what is wrong and all I want to do is lay around and watch TV all day? And by the way, first of all, there's nothing wrong with that every now and then. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, like I said, the things that I used to get up on the bus and go places and all these things, suddenly my life completely changed. And all because my sex drive went. So.
Well, when we get older, though, we also lose energy. So it takes more effort to actually do anything.
But my sex drive was the one thing that I had that always drove me to do everything. And now that I don't feel like I have it anymore, it feels like, what's the point I know, and this is the weirdest statement on the planet, and I've said this to people, and they do not look at me and do not understand what I'm talking about. My sex drive is everything. It is the driving force to why I do a lot of things in my life. It is the one thing that wakes me up in the morning and drives me. When I'm not feeling that great about stuff, all I had to do is sometimes look at a hot dude, feel some stuff going on in my pants, and I could just get through the rest of the day. And I was the happiest person on the planet. But when I stopped being able to feel all that stuff, then I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have the drive or the energy to do stuff. So it's like, now I'm really working hard to get that back by doing all the stuff that I need to do to get my blood pressure under control, to get all that stuff so I can get it back, because I want it back. I want it back. I did not realize how much I would miss it until it was gone. I want it back.
Blood pressure medication has affected it.
Yeah, it has affected it a little bit, and I also need to make sure I get my prostate checked. That's the one thing that I need to make sure I get checked. But for the most part, I still have a healthy sex drive, and everything still works. It's just the fact that, it's not where it used to be.
Well, it's never going to be where it used to be.
No, it's not. It's never going to be where it used to be. And I've been taking all these pills thinking that it was going to be, raise that testosterone up a bit so it can get to where it needs to go. So, yeah, my sex drive has always been my I'm not going to say first feature. That's not the word I'm looking for. but it's always been my thing that has always driven me to do stuff. So, like I said, I'm just learning how to. I'm really talking about more stuff on this episode than I should, but the fact of the matter is that that's why I want to get a dildo, is because I really do want to start exploring my sexual health, my sexual identity, that kind of thing, so that I can kind of get myself back out there again. So that I know where I'm going to go from this point on and be the happiest that I could possibly be, because my sex drive is my thing. And it is the thing that drives me. It is the thing that moves me. It's the thing that has allowed me to start shows. It's the thing that, makes me adventurous and all this other stuff, because I will literally do anything for dick. If someone says, hey, Joel, we're all going to climb down this mountain with all these hot guys with no shirts on and tiny little shorts on. Yes, I'm going to do that. Let me let me conquer my fear of heights, which, by the way, I can do in literally watching a couple of guys in a pair of hot shorts climbing down a mountain will literally erase any fears that I've have about heights at all. Literally. I can walk. If a hot guy in a tiny pair of shorts asked me to jump off a building, I would be off that building already. Flying down in those little suits that you keep seeing in the movies where you can glide all around. Yes, I would do that, because that's what my sex drive does. It pushes me to do this stuff because I'm in the hopes that I'm gonna get some dick. In the hopes that I might get some dick. And even if I don't, it was the most amazing adventure on the planet. And I made some new friends, and it's great. So that's my thing. I don't mean to make... Did I make this into a sad story? I didn't mean to make it into a sad story.
I don't know. Is it a sad story?
Was it a sad story?
Are you sad?
No, I'm not sad. But I feel good because I got it off my chest. Oh, my God. I feel good because I got it off my chest.
Yay.
And now I'm about to share this with I don't know how many people.
100,000
online, and hopefully, I hope that you people understand and get this. Sometimes this is that sometimes when you're feeling down and you just need to talk about stuff, you just need an outlet for it. And if you can find an outlet through therapy or through whatever, just do it. I don't want to go down that road. That just makes it sound like super horrible. Just do your thing.
Well, therapy can be good.
Therapy can be very good. Therapy is good, and it should really help you develop who you are. But like I said, if you are able to talk about things, and this is the beautiful thing about being a man, you can really now start talking about things that really affect you and be okay with it and not feel ashamed about it. And this is what I love about being a gay man. I can literally talk about things with my other gay friends. And I won't I'll get judged. I mean, we're gay. I'll get judged, but I'll get judged for the wrong reasons or the right reasons. I feel so bad for you, but that outfit, why did you wear that? At least they're concentrating on the outfit and not the inner turmoil that I'm going through. So I'm okay with that. So, yeah. So that's that. Anything else we need to add?
I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Okay. Then I think we're done with this episode, are we not?
What time are we at?
We've been talking for 2 hours. Are you serious? This is the longest episode I've ever done. And
it's all you.
I know. So are we done?
I'm not the producer.
Okay, well, I'm the producer, writer, director, and everything else. And we have had a couple of cocktails, and we were able to share with you things that we probably would not be able to share. And we're probably going to wake up tomorrow going, what the fuck did I just say on last night's show?
I didn't share anything.
No, you didn't. I did.
Well, dildos, I guess.
Yeah, we started talking. Wait a minute. We didn't really get into. No, we didn't get into depth about your dildo.
Well, no, I just want to buy one. That's about it.
Well, just buy one. Okay, the moral of the story is just fucking buy a dildo.
Yeah.
And buy one that's right for you. If you don't want the one that sticks on the door, don't get the one that sticks on the door.
I think I'll skip the suction cup one.
Yeah, but, here's the thing. just shop around and figure out what you want for yourself. And I think you'll be satisfied.
Yeah. I'll let you know.
And by the way, I was just, for you, getting the vibrating one because I think you need the vibrating one.
Oh, really?
Yes, I think you do. I think you would enjoy. I think you, Spunkmeyer Brown, would enjoy a vibrating dildo. I think you would.
Okay, I'll try. I'll think about the vibrating.
You know, they have ones that you could hook up to your phone. You can put the app on the phone. Yes, so you can program it to have different speeds.
Oh, I think I like that.
And everything
or different,
else.
like, vibration.
Yes, exactly. And you know how much I love technology. I might get one of those. Where I could now, I can't remember if those are vibrators or butt plugs because I know there's a difference.
Well, butt plug is shorter, right?
Yeah, they're shorter, but they also offer the same amount of vibration, and they kind of open up things if you want to get things opened up.
Right.
So it depends on, but I'm
not going for a butt plug.
Yeah. I think a butt plug is something that, I would be daring enough to wear in public without anybody knowing. And if I felt like I needed a little bit of a boost, I just hit a little button and I go, ooh.
Yes. It's like a little.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm having a particularly bad day at work or what have you, and I just let's hit number 3. Number 3, just go, oh, yes, Lord. Let me, I can handle you now. What was it that you asked me to order? Because now I got it. That kind of thing. So, yeah, I think you should just shop around and see what's good for you. Because I'm doing the same thing. Like I said, I know this is going to be an investment for me because I want to make sure I get the right one.
Right.
But, yeah, that's the investment I want to make because, like I said, I'm all about my sexual health, and I want to make sure that my sexual health is on par because when my sexual health is on par, the rest of my life is on par.
Absolutely.
So, and I know, like I said, I know that for most people, it's like, oh, my God, that's not so important. But for me, it is.
Oh, totally.
So don't judge somebody's journey. Just go, okay, well, that's your journey, and I understand. But for the most part, this is my journey, and that's that. So we're gonna call it a day. You want to call it a day?
Let's call it.
Let's call it because 1, that Western Suns lime vodka, delicious. 2, we're done. So we're done. So here we go. Let's play the end out music. Ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This show is sponsored by Tubi's Woodworking. Tubi gives you wood. Also brought to you by Bitch Boy Undies. Get you a pair or else. You can follow the show on most social media at That Lil Gay Talk Show. Check out the website, thatlilgaytalks.com. Music and vocals by Jamie D of Diamond Cut Entertainment.